Welcome to Cable 10 Live. My name is Michael A. Sharma. I'll be with you for the next 2 hours live right here on Channel 10. Today we have a very interesting group of guests. Starting off our first segment, we have some authors and some people who have done quite a good job of doing some e-book representation from an ethnic standpoint. And we're also going to be interviewing school trustees. And we're going to have 6 of them here, so we're talking about education on 2 ways. My first guest, right beside me, is Ms. Meena Chopra and Mr. Anil Purohit. These folks did a really interesting book, and it was an e-book that they've released, and it is one of the first books that's been done in Hindi and Urdu. 22 Canadians participated in this, and these 2 people are responsible for bringing this wonderful book to all of us. Welcome to Cable 10 Live.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Congratulations on this achievement. It's always something when people have an opportunity to publish something, and particularly something of this nature, where it is being translated from Urdu and Hindu. Tell me a little bit about the voyage that you had to go on to get this project accomplished.
Okay, the voyage is hard because there are many things. This is an ethnic book, and a lot of things are not available here. But there are a lot of ethnic writers who want to express themselves, and especially Hindi and Urdu. This event is going to happen on the 28th of this month.
We're talking about the book first, though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Book is going to be launched.
The launch, I see, correct, right.
Yeah.
So there's 22 authors who participated. Tell us a little bit about what is in the content of this. What is this about?
Well, basically, what we have selected was that the culture and atmosphere, like different values and systems of the Canadian people. Like these are all the people who are immigrants who come from different countries, and they are here. So they have their own values and customs and thinking when they come here. So, and they are also writers.
Yes.
So they express themselves by writing. So we selected.
So give us an example. Give us an example of what they were expressing. Give us an example of what they were talking about in the book.
They actually, it's the process of coming here. Basically, these are poems. Base of the poem is the same whether it's anywhere you are living, but it affects wherever you are being brought up. Those your environment affects. But when you from one place you go to another place, then there is a merge also. So all those things are coming up.
So basically, these poems they vary in subjects from nature, God, and their own experience and their own struggle and their own feeling and how they struggle here and all those things.
So is it from a perspective of an individual immigrant who has come here, reflects back on their old country and what is occurring
what
here
is their
in
experience in this country and all that. Because basically what culture is basically it's a way of life.
Right.
So way of life that they experience in back home and the way of life that they are experiencing here, there's a remarkable differences.
Was there one thing in the process of creating this project? I mean, anybody who endeavors to do an e-commerce book, it's such a challenge. There's so many people in this space right now. How difficult was it, particularly with this topic matter, when we're dealing with different languages, Urdu and Hindi? How difficult was it for you to get the financial end of this together?
We have got together and financed it. So all the 22 poets who are in it, we got together, arranged the finances, and then that's how we are doing it. A lot of work is volunteer work, but you have so much of, when it comes to writing, art, poetry, there is a lot of passion. So the finances are always secondary.
Well, it's a passion of the heart, right?
Yes.
It's not the passion of the pocketbook.
Exactly.
Is there one particular message or one particular poem that is very poignant, is something that really represents what this book is all about, that our viewers would be able to grasp on?
I think the title represents, it says Rang or Noor, that is colors and radiance of the people who are merging here, mixing here. So the title is very, very relevant, and I think that answers your question.
So if you were going to take a target audience or someone that this book is aimed at? Is it kids? Is it seniors? Is it everybody? Is there a particular group that you want to be exposed to these poems?
Well, target audience, as you said, it depends on the interest of the person. But basically, we didn't have anybody in mind in the target, but definitely the literal genius or the people who are interested to know about the feelings and what they come through, the people who are here, what they are writing and what is their thinking and what are their values and all those things.
Right.
Definitely they will be interested in reading these kind of books. And because these are all e-books, so definitely they are readily available at all parts of the world. Like we are not confined to here. And
Yes.
so being on internet, so they can access it anywhere while driving, or not driving, while traveling.
Yeah, you're not allowed to text. We don't want you to read the
Traveling on bus. Yeah.
So, give me Meena, you have a long career. There is quite a story behind who you are, where you've come from, and this is not necessarily the pinnacle. This is probably just one of many things to come from you, because the success breeds success. Tell our folks at home a little bit about where you came from and some of the things that you've accomplished to get to this point, to put this book out.
You know, the main reason was Canada is wonderful in the sense that you meet all sorts. And there is Pakistani community, there is Indian community, which actually don't get to meet in India. And there is a cultural richness as well as literary richness in both the communities. So this has become an opportunity for mixing of two communities by using two languages which are being transliterated. And fortunately we got somebody who was willing to do this work for us in India, to write from one language to another. Normally, you know, people in Canada who write Hindi, they cannot write in Urdu, and Urdu, who know Urdu, can't write in Hindi.
You know,
so now we can read each other's work, what's going on. So
when in Canada, with our two languages, French and English, it's very interesting when you see different things that are translated. For instance, Kellogg's cornflakes is cornflakes Kellogg's. It's always reversed. In poems and poetic verse, is it more difficult because there are certain words which mean certain things in one language than another, or it doesn't rhyme? What are some of the difficulties that you experienced in doing the translation? Did it lose a little bit? Was it more difficult?
It's not translation, it's transliteration.
Transliteration.
Because both the languages, Hindi and Urdu, they have same grammar.
Right.
They, when spoken, they sound similar, excepting few words, very few words which are different. So those meanings we have written there for those two, for obviously for both the people who cannot understand some difficult words. That's about all.
Cool. I have to ask you, I am so enamored by your, can you tell me what that is? I've seen so many traditional religious, and that is something that I have. Tell me what the significance is. It's not about your book, but it's more about you.
This is, a lot of people ask me
Yes.
that. It started with a dot, and it's, I'm an artist.
Yes, no doubt.
So maybe at some point my forehead must have become a canvas. So I call it, it's my artistic statement.
Very good.
Something to do with energy.
Something to do with energy? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not religion, it's from your heart, if you wish.
It's, no, for an artist, the religion is always art.
Always art. I want to find out, how did you find 22 Canadian authors who would come together with you? I know the community, particularly here in Brampton and Peel in general, is very rich with so much multiculturalism. We have so many people from so many wonderful lands. We appreciate so many different things. How did you put together 22 writers to come together?
Putting together them it was not that difficult, because we have got different organization, literal organization here, and we interact with them and we go to their different functions and all those things. So when we presented our idea to Urdu Association and Hindi literal activity groups, so some of them were very interested. They told, sure, why not? It's a noble idea, and we will definitely come and join you people and develop making this book. So we selected some of the selected poets and requested them to send their poems, and we made a committee, and they decided which poems should go there, and that's how we started.
Wow! So how many poems did you have to look at? I mean, you can put a lot of poems on a page. I don't know how your calligraphy, if you wish, or your words go on a page. Do you read right to left or left to right?
Urdu goes from right to left.
Right to left. Okay.
No, sorry, left to right.
Left to right.
Yeah, but Hindi goes from right to left.
Right to left.
Yes.
So that must have, wow. I mean, what a challenge to be able to do. I mean, I asked that question, I mean, there's so many times you look at books and there are certain books that do read right to left, even in English, just because when they're translated. This must have been quite a challenge.
Like, only Urdu is the language that goes from this way, but most of the language we write from left to right. So there was no challenge, and also while transliterating, I requested one of the person from India to translate it into Urdu, all the Hindi poems.
So what about us English folks? Are we ever going to be able to read this? I want to know if we're going to get a feeling of this, because I have yet to appreciate the Urdu language.
No doubt, you are right, and we are thinking about that also. But this was just an.
But you've got to appeal to your market. I get that. Right.
But the foreword is in English, so that you can understand what's going to go inside the book.
Yes.
And some messages are there which talk about the book, so at least that feel anybody who knows doesn't know the language.
So now we have to find someone who can translate.
When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the launch. The launch act. Oh, we're done after this. So I just want to thank you for this. I think this is wonderful. We've seen some stuff on this. We encourage you. We'd like to thank Meena Chopra and Anil Purohit for bringing this beautiful book to us, and to those people who speak Urdu and Hindi. I think you'll appreciate it. It's very interesting. My name is Michael A. Sharma. We'll be back with lots more of Cable 10 Live right after this.